Happy Friday, people. Afternoon. Hope everyone is well and you've had a magnificent week. It's a Friday. I've already got the Friday vibes. Craig, everyone in the chat has already said they've got that Friday feeling. Football is back, people. Football is back. How long has that felt, that 2 weeks? And the games we were trying to make them good because there was nothing else on the box. Let's be honest, absolutely nothing else on the box. Craig, big up Fran. Friday, it's a Friday again. Obviously, Josh Bomber is saying big up Fran. That guy D, yes, Fran Jameson. Social, hit the like button on your way in, people. And obviously, big up Fran. Huge congratulations, like you say, to the one and only Curtis Shaw. And that's where we will start. I'm not sure whether he'll thank me for this, people, but let's have a quick round of applause for this one. I found this one here, Aylesbury playing. He don't look a day older, does he now? Doesn't look a day older, honestly. So massive congratulations to Curtis. Curtis, you probably know, probably about 2.5 years ago, we had this conversation. He didn't like what he was doing. And I just said, listen, this YouTube thing, people are getting on this YouTube thing. I wasn't kind of on that flex on the vibe at that time. And I said, just get your phone and just start talking. You love football. Just get your phone and start talking. And look what's happened now, 2.5 years on. And by the way, the hard work that he has put in and the effort to be there on a daily basis, especially during COVID and the communities that is building. I know most of my community is from Curtis's community. So unbelievable work rate. And obviously for everyone voting for him and supporting his channel, big respect to you. And like he said earlier, the awards that he gets and YouTubers that you support, at the end of the day, they're for everyone. They're for everyone to celebrate because you are part of a community. So big shout out to Curtis. There's a lot of competition in this industry, but if you show your passion, you're unique, and you have a balanced argument, it just proves that you can win big awards. So big shout out to Curtis. I think he'll thank me for that one because he's got a little shape up going on. He's looking sharp on that. So I think that he will thank me for that. So big shout out, obviously, to Curtis. Big shout out. See what everyone else is saying. Good afternoon, Fran. Obviously, Craig's giving him a round of applause. Want you to be winning it next year. Well, listen, we can keep putting the graft in. That's what we'll do. We'll turn up every day when possible. We'll put the graft in. We'll add some more shows, and then we'll keep going. We'll keep going. But like you say, a lot of you in the chat, nearly all of you, will have been over and supported Curtis in his journey. So, massive respect to each and every one of you. You must be feeling pretty proud of yourself, Fran. Listen, like you say, it's nothing. It's not about me. I didn't, he's the one who put all the work in. I just gave him a little bit of salt and pepper, and he flavored his seasoned the chicken, and he went out and fully roasted it, and that's. That's all you can do as friends. I've known Curtis a very long time, and we've played briefly together as well. He's younger than me, but all you can do is try and give your friends a little bit of advice, and they have to put the work in. And what Curtis did is he just decided to put serious amounts of work in, and he's a likable person. He's got a good balance and everything that he talks about, and it proves in the award that he has won. So yeah. He seasoned it up. That's why all you got to do is I gave him the spices and he seasoned it up with some serious work. So big shout out to Curtis. Love that. Your turn next. That's what we do. Is season the ting, man. Is that a former teammate of yours? He played a little bit with me at, when I went non-league. He came a little bit to Brackley at the time, and then I played against him when I think Curtis was at Mansfield at the time, and I played against him as well. But like I say, he's younger than me. He's probably 5, 6, probably longer. He's probably about 8 years younger than me. Curtis is. So I was coming towards the end of my career, and Curtis was just trying to start in the league in that, and then he dropped into non-league. So fair play to him. Like that guy says, he seasoned up the ting, man. He seasoned up the ting. Right, people, let's get into what we're going to talk about. We're going to speak about the game. But firstly, this has made a little bit of a stir. Curtis mentioned it earlier. Ben White. Now, I said on Curtis's chat earlier that I resonate. And a lot of footballers do. I know a lot of footballers, obviously playing the game for so long, who have no real interest in football, watching it when they're playing. Definitely. I hardly ever watched football when I was playing. Super Sundays, maybe out and about with my friends. But when I was younger, I think I got into football because of the 89 game at Arsenal. But we didn't have Sky and stuff. When it sounds really old, but we didn't have Sky and things like that. We had Match of the Day. That was it. And I was never staying up for Match of the Day as a kid. So I didn't really start watching football until La Gazzetta, the early 90s. And that was Italian football because I couldn't watch up. So I didn't really watch football as a kid. Didn't really watch football. And I couldn't tell you a lot of history before my generation. The players that Chris mentions in the chat, I don't really know. And I never did my own work or anything like that. So his point is that as kids, you don't really watch a lot of football because you're playing quite a lot. And I think a few people have said, should he know the history? Should he know whatever? I think maybe you should know Tony Adams because that's his position. Maybe you should know Martin Keown even, Sol Campbell's and things like that. Patrick Vieira, unless he's a midfielder and didn't support Arsenal as a kid, he's probably going to have no interest whatsoever in Patrick Vieira. He's just going to know that he's a good player. So got to remember that his generation, especially from mine or the 30-year-olds, they're not really bothered about history settings. They're not really like we wouldn't. Like I'm not really bothered about, when people mention, God bless the Jimmy Greaves of this world and all them lot. Yeah, but from way before my generation, didn't know anything about them. So I think what he said has just been blown way out of proportion. He's just being honest, saying that he didn't really watch football, doesn't really watch football now, and knows that he was a good player, and that's about it. Some have questioned Fran should he know? Well, I don't think it matters whether he knows or not. Does it matter? I don't think it does. He's just got to concentrate on his game and see how good he can be. Maybe looking at older centre halves might have worked, but the game's changed. What Tony Adams, what Sol Campbell, what Martin Keown did, you can't do that in the Premier League no more. So I just think it's been taken a little bit out of proportion. Media and then people have jumped on it. I just think that is I know many footballers, including myself, who I wanted to retire at 25. I'd had enough of football at 25, believe it or not. And people used to say, how can you have enough of football at 25, Fran? The politics behind it and the everyday training and trying to juggle training with the nonsense of what was going on in life at the time. I just felt like giving up at 25. And I know many footballers who don't love the game, but don't like nothing else with it. That was me. Loved the game, but I didn't like nothing else with it. And I think there's a very, very innocent quote or innocent answer to what he said here. I don't think he means in anything in arrogance or malicious. He's just not interested in football away from him playing it every single day. Let me have a look what a few of you have said in the chat. He's being honest. He calls you Pops. Yo, what's up, Fran? Hope Arsenal for life. Hope you are well. Terence is saying, I was on this Newcastle page and came across this guy that was an Arsenal fan last week, now claiming to be a Toon fan since he was 10. Oh, imagine that guy decent. I remember having to check scores on teletext. That's what I mean. You remember that teletext was listen, I booked my first lads holiday on teletext. Malia, £79. It was a madness. Teletext was everything. Teletext was like the internet it is now. Unbelievable. Honestly, unbelievable. Social's a member as well. Thanks ever so much for becoming a member. Really do appreciate that. That if you don't know, we've just managed to get the membership going on as well. So if you want to support the page, make sure you hit that join it. That would be great. Social's doesn't bother me if these players like it or hate it. If they do their job on the fullest, perform the best of the club, then there's no issue. And I think that's the case. Bamboozled on teletext. Can you remember that? Can you remember the teletext was crazy? Curb Glasses put football fans are so fake at being virtuous when they judge others. They would never apply to themselves. I mean, that's a lot in society at times, isn't it? And that guy did page 500. When you get to those 500s, remember the pools man at the door. Oh, wow. Listen, John, I don't know how old you are, but my granddad used to go to the bookies and the pools man all the time. It was crazy. I tell you what I can remember of a kid, history settings, glass bottles from Jones the Pop Man. Wow. And if you gave your glass bottles back, you got some money. Wow. That is history settings. That is history settings. Right, people. So I'm not sure, like you say, I don't think it's that bad what Ben White has really said. I just think people have taken it out of proportion. And a lot of these players don't watch football. I never did. Got to be honest, I never really did. When people say to me, Frank, you remember this game? What was that moment? Can't remember because hardly ever watched football as a kid. And as an adult, because you're either playing and then on a Saturday night after you're playing, you're not watching match of the day when you're playing. That's for sure. You're going out. Either way, you're going out celebrating or you're going out to drown your sorrows and get up to some mischief. So, I just got to take his honesty, to be honest. I've got to take his honesty. Right, quickly, press conference. Mikel Arteta's press conference. I'm not going to go through it. Curtis went through it earlier. Absolute ball fest. Didn't get anything out of it whatsoever. Waste of time. That press conference really, really was. All we know is the basics, what we already know. Xhaka's not playing. Guendouzi's on loan. We know. Patrick Vieira is asking questions on Patrick Vieira. I mean, he's not bothered about Patrick Vieira. Mikel Arteta is not bothered about Patrick Vieira. So why ask him silly questions? What silly questions? Honestly, just don't get when it comes to these press conferences. Ocean's put, big up, Fran, big up yourself. I like the sound of your granddad. My granddad was old school. Big up, Fran, big up yourself. What I liked about that generation, by the way, even if they were sat in the living room, they'd put a shirt and tie on. I used to love that. And the granddad cap. I used to love that. Campbell Cats put, the only team you watched was probably England, Fran, at the World Cup, stuff like. Yeah, I didn't really watch a lot. I can't, the 89, I remember the moment. Can't remember sitting watching it because you don't watch. I used to find football as a kid very, very boring to watch. Because if you have a look over the 90 minutes, it's boring. It is boring. You only want to see goals. So then I would just, after 10, 15 minutes, my first football was actually a basketball because I couldn't afford a football at first. So my first football was a basketball. Yeah, it was like bigger than my whole body at the time. And I used to kick that against the wall. Then I got a proper football at like 10. I didn't get a proper football till I was 10 years old. And then I started to watch some, but yeah, I never watched football. So, Ben White, I think it's just been a little bit taken out of proportion. Buenos Aires, as always, big up yourself. I hope you are well. And Ammo has put, I love it when you repeat your point after key sentences that viewer needs to take note of. Listen, all I try and do is give as much balance and knowledge as possible. That's the best way we can be on this. What's the next posh game you're on the radio? Cambridge for Franny. Love the content. Robbie, tomorrow I'm at Middlesbrough. Tomorrow I'm on the radio. Tomorrow, Middlesbrough. They host Posh. Hopefully Posh can get that away win. So I'll put a vlog up next week. It feels like forever that we've not been able to get on the radio. But yeah, championship game tomorrow. I'm doing that. And John has put, yes, stop sending Ty to the overlap, please. Tony at C has put, at the end of the match, people used to follow anybody who had a radio to find out the other scores. It's crazy. Right, people. Ben White, we've sorted. Mikel Arteta press conference, waste of time. And I just want to speak about with you, lovely people, about the game on Monday night. So we are... Where are we now? Let me just get this up for you. I did it earlier, but now it's gone off. So we are 11th. Palace are 14th. As you already know, we've won 3, drawn 1, and lost 1 of the last 5. And Palace have won 1, drawn 3, and lost 1. Dwex is already coming. He's saying, hi, friend. I think Palace win 2-1, 2-0. Oof. That's not good. Leonard's put, big up, Fran. Congrats to Big C. Big shout out to Big C. Working out while I'm here, Fran. No music when Fran is on. Love that. Absolutely love that. So, yeah, we're above Palace in the table. Form-wise, Palace, listen, they've only won 1 in 5. People are talking about X, Y, Z. They've only won 1 in 5. They've not really got a flow going. They've not really been able to, how can I put it? Probably put out the same starting 11 as they've liked, etc. I know Eze is back, but his Achilles, he's nowhere near back. So I doubt very much that he would be starting, if even on the bench. So we will start with Palace. Let's start with Palace, okay, before we go into Arsenal. So they've done not bad. Obviously, they had the win against Spurs. Big shout out to Curve Glasses. Said he's giving good shout out for the oat milk. Yeah, I think I've nearly ran out as well, so that'd be perfect. I love that Curve Glass. Love that. So going to Palace, I don't think they've got any injuries really. Where are we? Just going on to what Patrick Vieira said. Patrick Vieira has been speaking to the media before his return to Arsenal as a manager. There's a key lines that he spoke about. All players have returned from international duty fit and ready to go. Obviously, Eze is out injured. He's fit and getting better. He's taking part in collective, but we're putting pressure on him. So we're putting no dates. He's really looking forward to going back to Arsenal. This is Vieira, where he spent 9 years as a player, arrived at the football club as a kid and left as a man. Vieira said, it's a club where I played my best football. It will be emotional, but I will put that to the side. It's about performing well and trying to get the points. He is also asked about Mikel Arteta, and he has responded by saying, I don't know him well as a man. As a player, he was a really good player and had a wonderful career. He reminds me a bit of Didier Deschamps, because Didier was playing, you knew he'd go on to be a manager. Interesting, very complimentary of Arteta. And then he's gone on to say, on Palace turning their good performances into points, we are getting really close to what we want. We are still making mistakes that cost us points. It is important we turn good performances into wins. Now, that's probably their sticking point. They have had decent performances, but they've just not been able to get the points, what they probably think they should have on the board. Now, we know what type of team we're going to get. We know who is going to be looking to impress, etc. Edouard, maybe if he starts, as always. He apparently wanted to go to Arsenal. It didn't happen, so he went Palace, and I believe he's got three in a few games, or 4 even maybe. Zaha, there's always this thing. He thinks that he should be at Arsenal, and so do most of us, by the way. I think that he should be at Arsenal, but he's not, and I think that's never going to happen now. So he will have a point to prove. So it's a big test, because sometimes he can drift from one side to the other. It's a big test for whether it's Tomiyasu's side or Tierney's side. Going to be a big test. And whether they play Benteke, whether they play Ayew, whether they play Edouard, not sure who else, and then they've got Elise, etc., and players like that. Midfield, they've got a lot of energy, people, a lot of energy, and that's my only concern. My only concern is they have a lot of energy, and we don't tend to have a lot of energy in midfield. We've got technically good players, we've got players who want the ball at times, but that energy levels for me is a little bit concerning, and games are won and lost in the middle. However, I think we have more than enough to win this game. I really do think we've got enough to win this game. We then go on to us. In fact, let me go through the comments before we go on to us. Tommy has to White, a real test if Zaha plays Monday. Yep, interesting. Fair enough, Vieira tactic masterclass and Palace winning. More realistic will be a draw. Arsenal from Rion. Buenos Aires has put laugh out loud. What Vieira really wants to say is Arteta can't lace his boots. BK's put just joining. Hope everyone is doing well physically and mentally. That's the key to life. Rion has put, I'm excited, Fran. How do you think Ødegaard will do against them? Again, we can, by the way, we can make Ødegaard look shocking or good. He heavily relies on how our team perform, Ødegaard, heavily, because he's that type of player. So he's not one who, when the rest of the team are playing poor, he can really grab the game by a scruff of his neck. He's just not that player. So it's interesting. I think if we get control of the ball and we're not nervous, then he creates at least a couple of chances as he does. But it's a tricky game. It's a tricky game. Didn't Vieira play with Arteta at Arsenal? I'm not sure. Did they play together? I think they did. He doesn't know him as a man. He said he doesn't really know him much as a man, as a player. No, I don't think he did. Came towards the end, didn't he? Palace have very physical midfield who like to get in your face, and I hope the boys don't shrivel under pressure. That's what I mean. They're very full on, Palace. Very, very full on, in your face. And by the way, I don't know if you've watched them. They can play some good football. They've been quite unlucky with the results that they've had. They've been quite unlucky. Excuse me. They have been quite unlucky. We then go on to us, okay? Won't be a long stream today, people. Friday, I don't want to keep you, maybe about 45 minutes. We then go on to Arsenal. We've got no injuries. Okay, so that's the key. We've obviously just got Xhaka as who's an injury, which we know about. Thomas Partey, there's a couple of little things surfacing around him. You know, will he come back fit? So I'm not sure what's going on really with Partey. Maybe there's a few things that's been kept quiet for the weekend because they're never going to give their teams away. They're never going to give away who's injured, who's not injured, etc. They're not going to do that. So full squad. They can take some confidence from what's been going on recently. We've got manager of the month, Arteta. So fair play to him. Drew against a tricky Brighton team. I know they didn't have Basuma and I know they didn't have Danny Welbeck. And that was a big, big plus for us. But we came through that fixture, should have lost, but we came through that fixture with a draw. You always say good teams are when they play bad and they get results. You know, that's what they always say in football. It's one of those cliche things, but over time, over longevity, it actually is true. Good teams can play bad and still pick up points along the way. So we should be going in this game full of confidence. Arteta was asked about, was this international break good timing? He wasn't too confident by answering the question in a positive way, but he obviously had to answer the question in a positive way. Now, the last one was magnificent for him. This one could switch and go the other way. Out of momentum, players been away with their national teams, etc., etc. Tricky game. We're going to go into it. I think we're going to, albeit no injuries that we don't know about, we're going to probably have the same starting 11 as we did against Brighton, I believe. I can't see why it would change it. That seems to be his strongest starting 11 that he wants to play. Interesting who's going to play against Partey. Really is. Will it be Maitland-Niles? Will it be Lokonga? Will he play Ødegaard next to Partey deeper, ESR higher, and then bring Pepe in on the wide? Interesting what he's going to play with. Really, really is. But I think whichever way he goes for, I think it's just going to be one or two little shifts in the team that obviously to go ahead at this game, because the one thing that needs to be 100% bang on is the tempo. We are at home. We have 2 games at home in 5 days. Absolutely magnificent. We'll be doing a watch along for both of them because I think they're both going to be exciting games. Well, I'm praying that they're both going to be exciting games. So for me, at home, I'm not sure whether I would play a Partey or a Maitland-Niles. I would actually maybe play Ødegaard next to Partey, a little bit deeper, because he was a little bit deeper against Burnley, okay? I'll play ESI in the 10, even though I don't think that's his best position, but he can get the ball on the back foot and drive at the back 4, okay? At home, where we're going to have majority of the ball, you would have thought. And then pace. So we've got Saka, we've got Aubameyang. Do you put Aubameyang out wide and play Lacazette down the middle? Interesting. Or do you put a Pepe out wide and say, come on now, now's your time, let's do something. Pace, and Aubameyang down the middle. I'm not sure. So he's got a couple of options that he can go for. But for me, this should be, I wouldn't say a comfortable win, but this should be a win without getting troubled too much by Palace. I've got to be honest. Let's see what a lot of your comments say. Just like his Crystal Palace also had a tough fixture list to start the season. If we draw, that's a bad result in my opinion. Barbados MUFC, thanks for popping in. He's put, if Vieira wins this fixture this weekend, is that a subliminal message to the Arsenal board to consider Vieira for the Arsenal job, or am I overthinking? Too early, I think, to be honest. Barbados, I think it's a little bit too early. However, they're definitely 100%, he knows, and it's been said, outside of Arsenal, I imagine, you do a good job at Palace, you're going to be the next Arsenal manager. I fully think that is what's in Patrick Vieira's mind because he wants to become Arsenal manager. Of course he does. So that's what I will think will be in his mind. Roll Right is saying, what is happening with Partey, man? I've been here nearly 2 years. I feel like I've hardly seen him play. Just now, interesting. I was going to say just bad luck. Is it bad luck? Are injuries, when you think about it, are they bad luck? Or I imagine there's a percentage, but how are these players looking after themselves? Are they doing the right cool downs? Are they doing the ice baths? Are they doing the modern day massages? They should be. They're pampered Premier League millionaires. They should be. But it's not always the case, is it? It's not always the case. And considering people say, yeah, but Fran, Partey's injured because he did less. He has to do more running here. Come on, people. He's an athlete. Like, whether you got to do more running one week or less running, I mean, that's just for me excuse after excuse. Really, really do. I'm saying it could be due to his diet, could be sugars, could be wrong sugars, could be too much carbohydrates, not enough carbohydrates. Could be loads of things in his diet which are not the right, and they're causing muscle injuries because they seem to be muscle injuries all the time. Killglass is going for a 1-1. Realms put, Fran, would you start Martinelli? Now, Martinelli's been in the headlines, hasn't he? Mark, let's touch on this quickly. Martinelli has been in the headlines. And actually, Arteta was asked about him today. And he just said, listen, he's had a couple of games. He's got injured. We like him. He's a player that we want around, blah, blah, blah. The same old political nonsense that people always say. I'm not 100% sure whether he's obviously given him the right opportunity. He's thrown him at the deep end. Does he trust him? I don't think he does trust him. I don't think he trusts him. And he needs to leave if that's the case. He really, really needs to leave. Social saying, I don't feel we can go from Arteta to Patrick Vieira as manager. It's one of those, isn't it? But, you know, Will Vieira, what would he do with this squad? I would also have to say bad luck, but Arsenal's injuries history speaks for itself. Yeah, I think, like you say, look, I'm not a massive fan of good luck and bad luck. I think there's always, if you dissect it, there's always, I'm being a little bit deep here, there's always something that could have been prevented before that happened a lot of the time. But with injuries, like I say, you could just run into someone, even then someone's got an argument, you was off back, whatever, do you know what I mean? But like you say, I think a look, it has to be one of those things when it comes to football. You know, you jump up and you land funny, you know, you get injured. You know, you slide tackle, you get injured. So someone stress on your ankle. So like you say, sometimes people are just unlucky, or a lot of the time they're not fit enough, so they have to stretch, or they're caught out of position, or they're a little bit late, or they get caught on the ball. Hence, that's when they get an injury. You know, is it confirmed that Partey is out? No, it's not confirmed, but a few whispers have been flying around, and Arteta's not given anything away. That could be an issue because, you know, then he comes in, don't he? So if he's fit, so interesting. Martinelli was doing good before Arteta came. Yeah, maybe just don't fancy him. BK saying Arteta put Partey on Spanish diet. We Ghanaians can't function on that. Played for Ghana and scored 2 goals. Must be the food. Yeah, he needs hard food, man. He needs hard food. European diet it's too weak for him. It's just too weak for him. Oh, maybe he's got him doing siestas at midday and that. It's not working. It's not working. Vieira would get 15% more out of these players. The man is serious. I think he would get instant respect. Instant respect. I really, really do. So I think from my point of view, I think we've got a few options of how we can beat Palace. A lot of people saying draw's just not good enough, Fran, and I agree. I don't think a draw is good enough for Arsenal Football Club, even in the position that we are in. I do not think that is good enough for Arsenal Football Club. And a run that we've been on, it's been a decent run, people. Let's not forget, it has been a decent run. I'm going for a 3-1. Score predictions, people. Score predictions for Monday. And then I'll go over quickly the Premier League fixtures for Saturday and Sunday. Score predictions in the building. Come on, score predictions. I'm going for a 3-1. Don't know who's going to score, but I'm going for a 3-1. Aubameyang will get one of them. If he plays, and I imagine he will be. Score predictions, people. Come on, reel them in. Drum roll. Come on. Tony's gone for a 3-1. Okay, he's on my page. Rollright's gone for a 2-2. John's gone for a 3-0. Darren's gone for a 2-1 Arsenal. 2-0, I want a clean sheet. FN saying 1-0 Arsenal. Could be 1-0 again. 1-0 Arsenal is coming back. Who'd have thought under Arteta? Some people start talking 1-0. 4-2, Arnie's going for. Nice bit of entertainment in the building. 3-3. That's got me, Robbie. 3-3 thriller. That's the one. 4-1 Arsenal. Craig's in the building. He's saying, I'm going with 3-1 Josh Bumba. S-Book is going 2-1. So, listen, it looks like we're very comfortably going to win. However, most people think we're going to concede. Only a couple don't think we're going to concede on that. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-1. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. Depends what Palace turns up as well. Got to be honest. It depends on what Palace turns up. 2-2. The Eagles play great football, Jesus is saying. I get where you're coming from. They do play good football. Like I said yesterday, though, Odegaard needs to bring his game. He needs to get on the ball a lot more. For me, we need to get him the ball. And when he does get the ball, he needs to be a lot better than he did against Brighton. I mean, everyone was terrible against Brighton. Got to be honest, but he definitely needs to. Please no 3-3 thriller. BK saying. Please no. Curb Glass is saying, speculation time, baby. Palace +1 goal. Ooh, mama. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? We need a 2-1. I think 3-1. I really do think 3-1. Right, people. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go into the rest of the fixtures over the weekend. That's what we'll do. Let's see if I can share this with you. I should be able to share this with you. Here we go. Here we are, peeps. Here we are. Here we are. Let's get back on my screen. Here we are. Oh. Watford, Liverpool. Listen, Watford are not messing around. They sacked their manager. They said with the squad that they've got and the investment that they have had, they don't see any cohesion or anything from this team. And Ranieri is in the building. Ranieri is in the building. Let's have a look at your comments when we're still talking about Arsenal before we move on. We need Pepe to have more game time. He could be crucial for us to finish higher than last season. The problem that we've got, Harsha, is he doesn't work hard, so Arteta doesn't trust him. And that's quite sad because he's scored some vital and got a good goal scoring record for us, but he's not doing the other side of the game. And I think that's why Arteta don't trust him. And Arteta at the moment cannot afford to be having passengers. And I think he sees him as a passenger. Give Vieira the respect he deserves. Once that final whistle blows, respect is out the window. Of course, of course. Right, people. So Camper Cat's already coming. Watford 1-1. Or you're going for Palace? You're going Watford, Liverpool 1-1 or Palace, Camper Cat. FN is saying Sarr to run riot against Liverpool again. Interesting, because these are the teams where Watford will try and turn up against and cause a lot of problems. First game of the season, Villa, they did ever so well, tailed off a little bit. So this could be one of those banana skins in the season for Liverpool. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Liverpool. Craig's gone 3-1. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Liverpool. Dilly Dong Watford. Ranieri might as well have his P45, Andy. I mean, it's a tough one. John has gone for a Liverpool 4-0 away from home. I mean, Liverpool, we know about Liverpool. When they're on song, they're fine-tuned. They beat anyone. And it looks like they're starting to get that back at the moment. So, albeit no injuries, they're going to be smashing and they're going to be challenging a lot. 35 in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button. If you've not already, make sure you subscribe as well. Tony's put 3-1 Liverpool and FN. Fran, would you take Sarr over Pepe? Yes, I would. I would take Sarr over Pepe. He offers me more from what I want from a team, from what I want. If I was a coach or if I was a manager, he's the type of player that I would want. I know he's going to turn up. I know he's going to be honest. I know I'm going to get work rate out of him. And I know a lot of the time I'm going to get performances where I'm not got to question his hunger or enthusiasm for the game. That's why. Robbie's put 2-0 Liverpool. Arnie's put, what does it take for a promoted team to become a secure Prem team? Good question. What does it take for a Premier League, a promoted team to become a secure Prem team and not be up and down like Watford? Obvious question. I mean, obvious answer, sustainability. If you can stay in the Premier League for 2 seasons, you can use the money wisely and then you can kick on. And that's what Villa have done. Villa scraped it, staying up. They invested the money, and now everyone's talking about Villa, probably going to be a mid-table team. And if they keep adding, they're going to be able to, if they keep investing, they're going to be able to be sustainable in the Premier League. So for me, when teams come up, they can't go and throw every bit of money out. So try and build a squad that's going to keep you in the Premier League for the first season. And for me, that's work rate. Work rate will always beat talent, because a lot of talented people do not work hard. So for me, that's why Burnley have been able to stay in the Premier League. You know, Brighton, when they come up, work rate, and then their quality came through. So all about getting people to just do the basics as 100% as much as they can, and they're hard to beat. Once you get that, you can then start adding the flair. And I think Watford have got flair players, but not built yet a foundation for them to maybe stay up. So it's interesting. Salah's on fire. Watford sack every manager. Listen, they're going like they're like the poor man's Chelsea. They'll just get rid of a manager after manager after manager after manager and try and make it work. Robbie's saying the Moneyball effect. Now, the Moneyball effect was way before Brentford, but it didn't really work. A lot of people didn't really understand how the Moneyball effect worked, because it's very different from the NFL. NFL is pure stats. Football is so much more than stats. So they struggled a little bit. Then Brentford kind of modernized it and kind of used that model. And a few other clubs have used that model as well. And it's worked. So it's very good if you can get it right, but it needs to be broken down, dissected from the beginning. This is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to go and do it. Brentford have done it for a very long time, and it's worked for them. Hopefully, if they stay up. Robert, I agree. Wouldn't be surprised with that result. And Barbados has put, let's have a click on that. It's true, Fran. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't hard work. It's very simple. We've all been there. We've all been there. We've all been talented more than someone else, and they've outworked us. And you're like, what? How? And they've just outworked us. What's up with Mane? He isn't the same player that was linked with Madrid 2 seasons ago. One football changes very, very quickly. Look at Maddison. Everyone was raving about Maddison. All of a sudden, no one wants him. Arsenal want him. He can't get back in Leicester's squad. Look at Jesse Lingard. Moves very, very quickly, football does. Look at John Stones. Out for 1 season. In, top draw. Now he's back out. It's very, very quick. Things change. Age, personal life, ambition, drive, targets, dreams, dynamics, mindset. So many things change that can put you off track. Because with football and sports, and if any of you have played sports at a decent level or even at a lower level, when you are not in tune with the flow, it just don't go right. You'll play sometimes and you say, no matter what I do, I could stay out here for 5 hours. It's not going to work. It's because it's not right. And this happens to professional footballers. They're exactly the same as me and you. They're just good at sports. Exactly the same. The psychology side of it, the mental side of it is just exactly the same as me and you. We just have to work on things to get better. Next up, Villa against Wolves. Midlands derby. Tricky game. Wolves, as we know, Jimenez is back, scored a great goal. Last time out, I believe. Scored a great goal. Good for his confidence. Villa, up and down a little bit at Villa. Up and down a little bit. So I'm going to go for a Villa win. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Villa win. But Traore might do something, as we know. But I'm going to go for a 2-1 Villa win. Leicester against Manchester United. Absolute pressure, cooker, boiler time for Ole Gunnar. Every time he takes a match, I'm not even a Man United fan. I actually feel sorry for him, because it doesn't matter what this guy does. He's going to get hammered either way. And this Ronaldo thing is not helping him at all. I could tell you that's for sure. Ronaldo scored a hat-trick in the week against I can't remember who it scored against, but a team that's low ranked in the FIFA rankings. He scores a hat-trick, so he's going to be putting a statement that he should be playing. He's can't afford to be sulking and doing what he does, because that's going to ruin the environment of that changing room and that football club. So he's going to have to play at the weekend against Leicester, and Leicester's going to be tricky. Leicester playing against Ronaldo. I know Soyuncu, etc., not really firing at the moment, defending well, etc. But Jamie Vardy, if he's fit, and these players we know are going to be a problem. So, but Man United do have the quality in that team to cause problems. So 2-2, Craig is saying. 2-1, John is saying. Barbados is saying it doesn't help that Pogba and Varane just won a trophy with France as well. Yeah, I know Varane's injured for a while now, so Pogba will be coming back. And of course, Pogba wants to sign his new deal because no one else is going to give him that cash. So it looks like he may be staying at Man United. But yeah, it's a tricky game for Man United. I've got to be honest. Leicester have not really got going, though, have they? They've not really got going. So I'm going to go for a 2-2. I'm going to go with Craig. I'm going to go for a 2-2. I've got to be honest. Curve Glass is saying Leicester to cause more pain. Ollie's going to be gone by January. Jonas is saying Sahar will score. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Sahar scores. Leicester 2-1 win. Brandon, hope you are well, all the way from over South Africa. Good day, friendly community. Hope you are well. Just pulled in what I missed. You've just missed. We spoke about Ben White's little comment, balanced. We spoke about the terrible Arteta press conference, but not too long because it was absolutely dire. And then we spoke about Palace, we spoke about Arsenal, what we expect, and now we're just going through the fixtures. And I just want a big shout out to obviously Brandon. Brandon in South Africa. I recently just came across Amapiano, I think. The music, the genre, it's all of a sudden got quite vibe the last couple of years. And it's like a deep house, African style music. And wow, I am hooked. So big up to Amapiano artists out there. What a genre. Absolutely love the mixes. Love the mixes. Camper Cat, a lot of Scottish clubs do that. Buy players cheap, sell players high and improve the squad. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's like anything, innit? It's like if you're in Bitcoin, which, by the way, Bitcoin is flying at the minute. And it's only what? It's only $4,000. It's only $4,000 from breaking all-time highs. And when I say only $4,000, people are like, what, $4,000? Listen, it's done $4,000 in the last 2 days. So, interesting. Will it break the all-time high and go into a continue this bull market, or will it get all the greedy people in and go for a massive dump? I am in a tiny long at the moment, about $5 in profit, because I'm not too sure what is going to happen. It is Bitcoin. It is Bitcoin. Pogba to Newcastle in January. Wow. Social saying CR7 will be player manager in the new year. God, he's another one. Don't think he'd be a great manager. Is he like Afro House? Very similar. It's sick. I love it. Feeling the vibes big time. 3-1 to United. Fred won't be starting this weekend, but then again, Lindelof will. Brandon saying 2-1 Leicester. Respect Ben White, brother, for what he says. It's his life after all, as long as he plays well for us. And Mr. S at PKA is put, yes, Fran, loving to some hot producers coming out of South Africa. Listen, top music. I was vibing all yesterday. Listen, you know me. I've got a wide range of music from Frank Sinatra to Barris, to Chronics, to Funky House, to Drake, to Travis Scott, to classical, to piano. Listen, I'm one of them. Good music is good music, but listen, Amapiano has got me vibing. I can tell you that for now. Top music fan. Listen to the DJ from South Africa, KG. He got some top beats. I'm listening to at the minute. I don't know what they're called. PGS or something like that. They're on YouTube. PGS, I think it's called. Could you say the name again? Got to check it out. Listen to a lot of Afro House. It's called Amapiano. So Amapiano. Amapiano. Just type it into YouTube, and there's a couple of there's some beats. There's some beat. You'll like it. Some very, very similar. Very, very similar. Found it. I'm a piano. Yeah, it's decent. It's decent. Right, people. I'm buzzing now. I want it on in the background. Bobby's, but I'll be losing friends and finding peace. And honestly, that sounds like fair trade to me. Listen, I was doing this. On my self-development. Okay. About 5 years ago, I basically wiped my phone. And I'm not exaggerating. I basically wiped my phone. And it's been great ever since. I'm a piano. It's been great ever since. I could tell you that. So, people, Man City, Burnley. Man City, Burnley. People talking about Man City all the time. Blah, 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 blah. No striker, no striker, no striker, no striker. They won the league with no striker. They got the Champions League final with no striker. We cannot write them off. But I do think the Jack Grealish signing was a no-no. I really, really do. And it's not that I don't think Jack Grealish is good. I just don't think he improves them. Sterling has come out recently. He's lost his place to Sterling, to Jack Grealish. And I actually think I would rather have Sterling in my team than Jack Grealish. So interesting. City win all day. I think they beat them 5-0, 5-0, 5-0. FN's put 5-0 City. Brandon's saying, I wiped my phone 2 months ago. Now I know how many true friends I have. Serious. I just roll with, honestly, I roll with Curtis virtually most of the time. I roll with all you lot virtually every day. My wife, my children, and sometimes when I play bets. And I've got 2 good friends who I hardly ever see but speak on the phone. Even family members who I grew up with, which is crazy as it sounds, not in my life no more. It's crazy, but you find yourself. You find what you're about. You find that peace. You know, City win 3-0. Tony says City win 3-0. I'm a piano settings. That's what we're going for, Craig. That's what we're going for. I wish I could put it on, but I don't think I could put it on because you get done for copyright or whatever. 6-0 City. Craig is going for a sixer. Right, people. Norwich, Brighton. Absolute snorefest, to be honest. I think Norwich will make it very, very hard for Brighton, depending whether Basuma's back, depending whether Welbeck's back. They've had that break, so we will see. So I think it's going to be tough, but I think Brighton might get a win. I really do. Social, he's saying, Social's saying 2-0. He's saying, your family here are here, Frank. Listen, that's what it's like every day. This is the family. This is what we're building. That's why I want everyone to interact with each other. You build people. Eventually, hopefully, we can get like a Discord group and things like that where people can have their chats. That's what I think it's about, because we live in a world where it's more peaceful to be an introvert and not in a selfish way, look after yourself and your family. And we don't get to interact with a lot of people these days. The world's changed. So, bang on to the community and big up yourself. Tony C, 2-1, 2-1, 1-1, 2-1 BK. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. It's going to be a close one. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Brighton. 2-0 Brighton. Can't see Norwich scoring, but Brighton are not great away from home when it comes to defending, to be honest. Southampton, Leeds. This is a toss of a coin, people. Depending on what Leeds turn up, depending what Southampton do, this is a toss of a coin. But I'm going to go for a Leeds away win. I am. I'm going to go for a Leeds away win. The hitting teams on the break, I think, suits Leeds away from home. I'm not checked statistically over how many games they've won away and home, etc. But I think the way that they play is better for them away from home. Brandon's saying Leeds could lose again 1-0. They're away. And it's weird because their style of play would suit away. High intensity, on the break, down the sides. But like you say, we could lose the 1-0 again. Interesting. Bamford's not hitting anything at the moment, is he? Again, not really checked how many goals he scored, but not really heard a lot of him about at the minute. He had that little appearance in the England shirt, and that went missing. And I don't think he's good enough for England, that's for sure. Curb Glasser said 1-1. Tony said 1-1. Robbie saying 2-1 at Leeds. BK saying 1-0 Southampton. Craig is saying 2-1 Leeds. I'm going to go for 3-1. I'm going to go a little bit ambitious. I'm going to go 3-1 Leeds, but they can get caught on the counter as well, Fran. True. And that's why I think if teams suss them out, they do lose away, and it's always by the odd goal as well. Yeah, I'm going to go for a Leeds, but I'm going to go for a 3-1. I'm going to go for a 3-1. I really am. Brentford, Chelsea. I don't think Chelsea are going to have any troubles the way that we did. However, I do not think this is going to be easy for Chelsea. They play two up front. Brentford, as we know, Mbeumo and Tony, very, very different players, but a very, very good partnership, will cause problems. And Rudiger, if he thinks that he can have his little tactics against a forward who has come through the leagues like Ivan Toney, he maybe get a little bit of surprise because Ivan Toney will give it back. You know, strikers that come through the leagues, I'm telling you, from experience, are not like strikers that are bred in the Premier League through academies. They're from a different cloth. They don't take Rudiger nonsense like some of these other centre forwards kind of take it. I doubt Tony will be taking Rudiger's little tricks if he's playing. So a lot of you saying 2-1 Chelsea, can see them scoring. Fran Pepe could do with a loan spell at Leeds. Bielsa would get him pressing and running. Would he do it though? You know, would he do it? Draw, Brentford will make it difficult. 2-1 Chelsea. I think Brentford are going to make this very, very difficult, but I do think Chelsea might sneak this win. So I'm going to go for a 2-1. Rudiger is a doubt for the game, injured, okay, and he's probably been their best defender. I'm going to go for Chelsea 2-1. Robbie's saying Tony brace. Listen, I'd love it if Tony gets a brace. As you know, I know him personally. I've watched him for a very long time from Northampton. Very long time through the agent work and doing punditry and obviously playing for Peterborough. I know him as well. So, you know, I'd love him to get a brace. And I think he should be with an England shout because I've seen some of the people who are getting England caps and he definitely should be in a shout if he continues this form. I do think this was a little bit too early, this international break, but do think he will get an opportunity. Eric is saying, we'll watch the Stockholm Derby. Will you watch the Stockholm Derby on Sunday? Probably not. I've got to be honest. Probably not, but I will look out for it now that you have highlighted it. And Stockholm is a place that I want to go. That is for sure. I think the Hex creator is doing a tour around Europe. He's in Stockholm, but he might be coming to London, so I hope he does do quarantine. But I think he might live he lives in Estonia, I believe. He's American. He's the founder of Hex. And he was doing a tour. I believe he has been to Stockholm already. Interesting. If he keeps it, he will get an England call. Definitely if he keeps it up. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go for a Chelsea win. We'll then go on to, here's me saying 45 minutes. And as always, with the community, we're near an hour. Sunday, Everton against West Ham. Very, 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 very hard game to call. I've got to be honest. Very hard game. Without DCL, okay, Everton are not as potent or as fearless, fearful, whichever word is the right one. Excuse me for that. And West Ham are away from it. Now, we know West Ham are decent away from home. We know that. But I think Everton with Demarai Gray and Andros Townsend are going to cause problems. I'm going to go for an Everton win. And I'm going to go for... I can't see Everton keeping a clean sheet. You know what? I'm going to go for a 1-1. I'm going to go for a 1-1. Really, really, I'm going to go for a 1. I think it'll be a good game. I think both teams want to go out and win. I think both teams are honest. They work hard. And I think it's going to be a 1-1. I really do. So that's going to be a good game. And then Newcastle against Spurs. Steve Bruce has been told he will be manager for his 1000th game, which is very, very good for him because I thought that would have been ruthless. I mean, I know some ruthless people, but to sack a manager on his 999th game is road gangster behavior. I can tell you that. And Amanda can't be moving like that, all blacked out. So she has kind of eased off and done all right. And I think she's going to give him the game. The atmosphere at Newcastle is going to be crazy. Absolutely crazy. Ram-packed, sellout, Geordies, 50-something thousand in that stadium is going to be crazy. And These players are now playing for their livelihoods. And you will know when your back's against the wall and you're playing for your livelihood, or you've got to do something for your livelihood, you get that completed. I can tell you that for sure. You get that completed. So you will see a different type of Newcastle team on Sunday. I can tell you that. And I think Newcastle beat. I think they beat Spuds. I think they beat them. They will crumble under pressure, just like FN is saying. They will crumble under pressure and the atmosphere, because like we always know it, they are Mr. Bottle Job. Okay? And if there's any Spurs fans in the chat, listen, it's only football and it's only banter, but I hope you get absolutely slapped up. Slapped up. I can tell you that. And what a place. What a place. Harry Kane to score goals. So it's 2-1 Spurs. Hey, listen, Harry Kane might be on form because he's thinking, I can get weighed in. I'm not going City now. Don't want to leave England. Bang. He's getting weighed in at Newcastle in January. Can you imagine? So he might turn up. He might turn up. And then as we know, on the Monday, it's the one and only, you know who, us against Palace. So let's stop sharing this. Let's get rid of that bad boy. There we go, people. And we are bang on nearly an hour. Again, I always think it's not going to last. I look at the time and I think, right, it's half past. Where we're going. Before you know it, it's an hour. Absolutely unbelievable. And by the way, I've not seen this yet, but someone has to get a video of this. Everywhere they go, Tottenham get battered. Did you see Curtis? I don't know if he planned it. He got on stage and started speaking and trolling Spurs, and expressions and all these crazy people did not like it at all. But listen, that's all part of it. It's just banter, people. It's just banter. That's all it is. Robbie's going 3-1 Spurs. Harry Kane turned up so he can get the Jordan. Yeah, listen, he wants that paper. He wants that paper. He wants to move. I can tell you that. 1-1. I'm gonna go for 3-2 Newcastle. Can you imagine? 3-2 Newcastle. I'm just going to go for it. You know, on normal circumstances, there's no way I would be. But I'm going to go for a 3-2 Newcastle. That's what I'm going to go for. And that is it, people. We are wrapped up. Expressions how him and Troops were both off their heads on Insta Live last night. It was like 2:30 in the morning. Yeah, that's from Jay. I don't follow them. They're doing great, but they're not my cup of tea. But yeah, I can imagine they had a whale of a night, an absolute whale of a night. Fran, thoughts on Wenger's new Invincible documentary? I've not seen. I don't know if it's out yet or been made. I've not seen it. If it's out, I will check it out. Not yet, but I'm not too sure. I like to say, I don't know anything about it really. I've seen it. I've seen that it's around. I don't know if it's been finished, completed, etc. But I will check it out 100% for sure. And we will probably touch on that. That would be maybe a good show in the future to touch on that. Great stream, Fran. Hit the likes if you haven't, peeps. Absolutely unbelievable support from social. By the way, quickly before I go, after the game on Monday night, now that we've done membership, I'm going to do members only call-in. It will be live on YouTube, but only do a members only call-in, which would be the platinum one. Okay, so members only call-in. So if you want to get involved on a Monday night after the game and you want to do a call-in, let me know. Make sure you join, and we will take it from there, and then we'll see how we go. I want to keep adding new content now. The next 12 months is going to be an absolute smashing party every time we get on this channel. That's what we're going to do. So as always, the chat, unbelievable contribution. Like you say, I imagine most of you voted for Curtis as well. So big respect for helping Curtis along the way on his journey. And like you say, everyone is a part of that journey. Really do appreciate it. Have a magnificent weekend, okay? Magnificent weekend. Spend time with your loved ones, spend time with your family, and more importantly, spend time with yourself and get in a good position and a good mindset. Like always, I will love you and leave you as always, and I will probably see you tomorrow or something. But no, I won't see you tomorrow because I've got to go Middlesbrough for the radio, but I will see you in the very near future. Take care.